All right, guys, so we are in topic 5 right now for science, and we are going into extending human vision. This topic, we're going to have all the different tools that we use to take ourselves from just what we can see with our naked eyes to being able to see significantly smaller things, which, in all honesty, we've already covered a bit in the cells and systems unit when we talked about microscopes there. We'll also be talking about things that we use to go beyond what we can see, like you can think of a couple of different things, telescopes, binoculars, those kinds of things, to extend our human vision beyond just what we can see with our naked eye. So this is, excuse me, that's what this section is about. So let's start off right away with telescopes. This is one we haven't touched on yet. There are two types of telescopes. There are reflecting telescopes and refracting telescopes. So this one right here uses a lens in it, and this lens is used to bend light. So if you remember back at all in the past, we talked about the bending of light by lenses being a thing that we do with refraction. So this is called a refracting telescope. Refracting telescopes use lenses in the, sorry, I should be clear. They use an objective lens. Both types of telescopes have eyepiece lenses, the ones down here. So the eyepiece lens, if I'm going to think about it any which way, this is where my eye goes. So I would put my eye up to the eyepiece lens to be able to look through the telescope. So that is what these lenses do. They have an eyepiece, and we look through a lens. That lens brings that far off stuff into focus. Now, I can remember having one of these as a kid. They're not all that complex, and generally speaking, their tube size is quite a bit smaller. If I can get that. They're quite a bit smaller, the tube size of them, which is nice. They're more portable. They're easier to set up. So these guys actually usually are a little bit cheaper when it comes to actually being able to buy them. The ones that people that really like to look at stuff up in the sky, the ones they would buy these days are reflecting telescopes. And again, if you just think about the name, reflecting implies mirror. So in the back of it, there is a concave mirror. So that concave means swooped in or scooped inside. And that concave mirror, the light comes in and gets bounced into a focal point, into an objective, into a mirror. That mirror bounces whatever the object is in space to our eyepiece. And that is, again, that does some magnifying for us as well. But that's the way that these mirrors work, is they rely on mirrors instead of lenses from the objective side. So objective, I always just think the object I'm looking at is on that side, and my eyepiece, my eye is on that side. So that's how I always remember that. Not overly complex, but those are two things, and I'll post another video about how telescopes work. Binoculars. Okay, this is a misconception. I always, as a kid, thought that inside of a set of binoculars were little mirrors. I thought there was a mirror here that bounced the light up to this one, and then it bounced it back. But it turns out, okay, unless we're talking about the little kid ones, but it turns out that instead of using mirrors, they used prisms, which until I started teaching this, I had no idea. I learned something new. So there are reflecting prisms, which have a mirrored surface in here and are at a 45